This is Block Blue Light's red light therapy mask. And to be honest, it is nearly really good. There's just one or two things that let it down, but these things may not actually be a problem for you. And if that's the case, then all of a sudden, this becomes a really good mask. I test and score this mask over 4 key areas. At the end of the video, I'll share a score out of 100. I'll also share those potential issues and of course, compare it to other masks. I'm affiliated with some of the companies mentioned in this video and I will earn a commission if you buy through my links or discount codes. Products were provided to me free of charge and all opinions are my own. This is not medical advice. Okay, first up, round 1. Now, to be honest, this mask is quite a nice fit. After testing about 10 masks now, I'm starting to think the flexible wraparound masks are where it's at. I mean, they tend to score really well on the comfort and fit side of things, and that's no different with this Block Blue Light mask. It stays in place, it feels comfortable to wear, it's easy to put on and off, it's easy to talk and breathe, which is important when wearing these masks. It has good skin contact in most areas, just lacking around the bottom jaw area. And the strap system is comfortable to use, though it did have some limitations. I worry that the Velcro stitching isn't going to hold up to the test of time, and I decided the top center strap just was unnecessary as well. Though it still gets a score of 13.5 out of 15 for fit. For operation, it does well. It is a corded design, which is always a bummer, and it comes with a battery-powered controller like so. There are 2 buttons on it. It's pretty simple. One button turns it on and changes the mode. The other button changes the brightness or intensity. And as you can see, the screen is nice and clear. You can see what wavelengths are running down the bottom there. It also comes with a nice manual and it does a good job of explaining red light therapy and how the different wavelengths impact our skin. Now you can run this in red only mode if you don't want near infrared exposure, but hang around for the next round because it was something interesting that happens when you're running both red and near infrared. Otherwise, it is USB-C chargeable, it is flexible, so I think it's great for travel, very portable. And it does have that intensity adjustment, but there's no timer adjustment. So I'm giving it a score of 7.5 out of 10 for operation, meaning the total round score is 21 out of 25, which is a really great score. So Block Blue Light are off to a good start here. By the way, if you want to see all the metrics, all my comments, how I come up with all of these points, then I'll put a link to a resource showing all of that down below. Round 2, we look at therapeutic power. So first up, I look at the wavelengths. Now, I pulled out my spectrometer and I tested the LEDs. We see in the red mode a peak of 595. This is our amber light. And then the big peak in the 630 nanometer range, which is the red light. The red is great for surface level skin health, skin tone, blemishes, texture, that sort of thing. And with the amber light, though the research isn't as strong as it is with the red, it has potential to reduce puffiness and also help with the surface level blemishes. With the near infrared wavelengths, we see 2 peaks. So we're getting light at 815 nanometers and then also 830 nanometers. These wavelengths are quite similar. Block Blue Light claimed that the 830 is deep near infrared. I don't refer to 830 as deep near infrared. I think it's still just true near infrared. Deep near infrared might be your 900s and beyond, and some masks do have that. Still though, both of these near infrared wavelengths are going to penetrate deeper into the skin tissue, helping with collagen, elasticity, and also circulation, which is very important for anti-aging benefits. Now, there's no blue light in the Block Blue Light mask. To be honest, I don't know if the company could include blue light in a product of theirs, given their name. Actually, I wonder if that is why it is not in there, because we know that blue light is good for acne and a lot of these LED masks do include it, but we're not going to find it in this mask. So I'm giving the Block Blue Light mask a score of 6.5 out of 10. Though again, I do need to cover more on the wavelength, so stay tuned for that. Okay, now we have fluence. This is the amount of power delivered over time. This is interesting. So as we know, the Block Blue Light mask has 3 different power modes, low, medium, high. And what I do is I use my spectrometer to calculate how much light is coming from an LED and then multiply this by the default session time, which with this mask is 10 minutes. I then find the dose, which is measured in joules over centimeter squared, and that number determines the score I give it. You see, my team and I have spent a lot of time looking at the research on LED masks, looking at photobiomodulation effects on the skin and the doses that were used. And we've come up with this graph, which shows what we think is the sweet spot in terms of optimal dosing for anti-aging skin rejuvenation. Too low and you get no benefits. too high and the benefits slowly start decreasing. Now with my scoring, I always test off the default mode. So whatever the default timer is and the default intensities. And with the block blue light, that's 10 minutes on low power. And on low mode, I got a dosing figure of 2 joules over centimeter squared, which is on the low side. Now, when you bump it up to the mid power mode, you get a figure of 6.5, which would put it in the optimal zone. On high mode, I had a figure of 16, which is on the higher side, but still a really good score. So it is a little bit frustrating because I do have my testing standards, my metrics, and I have to stick with them. And that means the block blue light mask only gets 3 out of 15. Now, I know you might be thinking, hey, well, I can just press one button and now all of a sudden I'm getting 15 out of 15 for this round. And yeah, it's a little bit frustrating to score it this way, but I am testing 30 masks and I have to set certain standards. Remember, I'm trying to find a simple mask that's going to work, that's going to be easy to use, cover all of the face, deliver the wavelength and the power that we want without having to adjust a lot of settings. I know this block blue light mask is simple to use. And again, you only need to press 1 or 2 buttons, but I do have to stick with the rules that I set out before starting this whole project. Remember as well, a lot of people may buy this mask and won't know what setting to use. Again, by default, it's on low. So, hey, to be honest, why don't you just share this video in your Facebook groups, in your communities, or with people that already own this mask. Okay, so for round 2, the block blue light mask gets a score of 9.5 out of 25. Yeah, it's disappointing, but it is what it is. All right, now we look at coverage quality. This factors in how well the light is delivered across 10 different areas on your face. First up, we look at LED chip count. Now, there's actually 122 LEDs in this mask. Now, each of these LEDs has 4 chips in it, which means every LED has potential to put out some amber light, some red light, and the 2 near-infrared lights. And this is really good. Lots of LEDs, lots of chips means good coverage on the face and a nice even blend of wavelengths. However, there is a problem. When you run all 4 wavelengths at once, the red with the near-infrared, the power to the near-infrared chips is throttled right back. Let me show you with my spectrometer. And as per the screen, we see the amber peak and then the red peak. Great. Now, when I put it in the near-infrared mode with 810 and 830, we see the peak at 815, so it's slightly off, and then 832. Great. However, when I put it into all 4 mode with the amber, red, and the near-infrared, we see this. Meaning, yes, there is a ton of red light, and yes, there is adequate amber light, but the near-infrared light is non-existent almost. Now that is in high power mode. If I drop it down to low mode, the ratio is not quite as bad. We see it like this, with the red still being dominant and then the amber matching the near-infrared. But what this means, if you want a lot of near-infrared light, pretty much you have to run it in the near-infrared mode on its own. Because if you run the 2 of them, as you can see, the near-infrared is very, very weak compared to red light. Now, some people may actually like this because they're worried about overexposure of near-infrared light. But to be honest, I think a lot of those fears are unnecessary. And I'll put a link to some resources on why this is the case. And I look through the block blue light manual and I see no mention of potential overdosing on near-infrared and why they may have done this. So yeah, interesting. And to be honest, not ideal. Okay, despite all this, for the chip round, I'm giving it a score of 9 out of 10. Now let's look at zone coverage. Starting from the top of the head, does a pretty good job on the forehead. It could go higher. Some other masks do come up higher and have higher LEDs there. As for the temples, it's not great. Again, it could go wider, and there is actually no LEDs right in the temple zone. Around the eyes and on the nose bridge, it is really good. The nose itself isn't great. There's only 2 LEDs right on the base. Cheek coverage is good, but then for the bottom of the face, it's pretty poor. There's nothing in the lips. There are 4 LEDs in the chin zone, but it's actually really high. Technically, it's more under lips than chin. And then, yeah, there's nothing really going on in the jaw area. So I give it a score of 9.5 out of 15, meaning the round score is 18.5 out of 25. Hey, if you found value in this video, can you do one simple thing and just hit the like button down below? And if you want to know more about buying red light therapy masks, enter your email in the link down below. I'll send you a resource-packed guide. Okay, now let's talk pricing. Well, you can pick up this mask for a retail price of $350. Though if you order through the link down below, remember I am affiliated, you will save and I do get a commission, and it means you can get it shipped to your door in the US for $304. Therefore, it scores 14 out of 20 points for the price round. And yes, I know it's only $4 away from going up a tier or down a tier, however you look at it. Yeah, it's just a bit more bad luck from Block Blue Light. For peace of mind, it gets a score of 3 out of 5. There is a 2-year warranty, a 30-day return period, and the company is legit. It's been around for a long time. I've interviewed the founder and I've reviewed a lot of their products in the past. So for the final round, it gets a score of 17 out of 25. Meaning the total score is 66 out of 100. It did really good in the fit and comfort round, pretty good in the coverage round, though it really fell short, at least with my scoring, in the therapeutic power round. Though 66 may not sound good, it is actually quite a good score, especially compared to its rivals, more on that soon. But if it did get maximum points for the power dosing, it would have a score of 78, which is putting it right up there. Remember, I've tested a lot of red light therapy masks, and yeah, anything in the 70s is doing really, really well. So I do feel like my score may be overly critical, and if you have just skipped ahead to this section, I highly recommend going back and watching the full review. Because look, in a nutshell, this mask is comfortable to wear. Operation is really nice. It comes with a nice manual when you buy it from a legit company. It does have the key essential wavelengths for skin rejuvenation, though it is missing out on the blue light. And to be honest, though I tested the dose to be low, since you're aware of this, you can hit the intensity button, bump up the brightness 1 level, and you now have a perfect dose. Saying that, it's still not going to be a perfect mask. It could be larger on the forehead and around the jawline. It could be cordless. I would like to see even more LEDs for better coverage zones. The strap could do with an upgrade. And of course, it has this weird power discrepancy going on with the red lights and the near-infrared lights. Still though, is it going to work? Well, yes, you will see skin benefits, you will see anti-aging benefits, fine lines, wrinkles, blemishes, skin tone, all those things should work given we've got validated wavelengths in here and potential for a really good amount of energy. Is the $304 worth it? To be honest, I think it's fairly priced given the comfort, the fit, the controller, the wavelengths, the power again. And if you're looking for a mask that does put out a lot of red light with only a little bit of near-infrared light, then hey, this mask is perfect in that regards. I haven't seen any other mask that had a red to near-infrared ratio like this did. But as I always do, let's compare it to some other products out there. First up, from a similar price point and with a similar style of mask, is the infrared red light therapy mask. Now, fit-wise, comfort-wise, it's pretty similar. However, it doesn't have the amber light, but it does bring in blue light. So if you're looking for a mask similar to the Block Blue Light with blue, then that could be a good option. If you're not worried about price or portability, then you could look at the Therabody TheraFace mask. Now, this is super expensive. It's over $600. However, the operation and fit are really good, and it's got over 600 LED chips, more than the Block Blue Light mask. And the dose is dialed in. It's perfect. Plus, it's got some cool other features such as vibration mode. But again, it comes in at a hefty price. Finally, if even the Block Blue Light mask seems too expensive, then I'd recommend checking out the Nanoleaf mask. You can pick this up for $250. It has a similar amount of LED chips as the Block Blue Light with 432. The dosing again is on point, and it has red, near infrared, and the blue light wavelengths. So I'll leave it there for now. Check out one of my other videos. I have reviewed a lot of these masks, so I'll hopefully see you in the next video.